Last Monday, January 23rd, there was an event in University of Minnesota, an art center there, a film by director Francis Verster from South Africa. The film, The Dream of Shahrazad, explore really political events in Egypt during the Arab revolutions. And in Turkey too, and making a really a nice connection between what was going on before the fall of Mubarak and after. And the film, it was in the making for more than 3 years. Of course, the unfolding of Arab Spring or Egyptian Revolution was just not complete yet. But this film was taking those political events and weave them together as a narrative of the Thousand and One Nights and how people tell a story to survive. It really brought the Egyptian revolutions in a very different take. It's almost musical, and how the symphony of Shahrazad really weaved itself in what was going on in Egyptian street and also in Turkey. Uh, the film won multiple awards, and we got a chance to talk to the director and ask him a few questions.
Later on, but at the time that was the idea. So we started to summarize it, and we started the film working with a Iranian conductor, and the idea was that he would take the Shahrazad suite back to the birthplace of the Knights, which is ancient Persia, and it would be a means to start looking at these issues of Orientalism and so on.
If you if you had the chance to remake the movie now with everything that has been happening in Egypt and elsewhere, what would you change? Because
Reflect, because we lived through that whole period, and I think so part of, I imagine the viewing experience is also my own emotional experience as I went through that. So, I suppose if I edited the film now,
you can resist through culture or survive with culture and so on. But then there's a hell of a lot of violence in that music too. It's 19th century nationalist music, and toward the end, you're really stretching it. Like, are we going to admire these kids and what they're doing, or is this an appropriate soundtrack for people who are hiding under a truck and being shot? There's tension just about what the music stands for.
yeah, I guess one of the things was, I suppose, was one of the ideas of the film was to try to give. You see, for me, in a sense, of especially growing up as a white middle class South African in a town or city where classical music had a massive amount of artificial support from the government. It was it was seen as very much a kind of a sign of European originated cultural superiority within Africa. All these
was parallel to the way 1001 Night stories are told, in the way that a story is told within another story, and so.
As a person who enjoys music, dance, and art, and politics, you brought together everything pretty in a clever way. And the storytelling piece was very nice as well. And having that element of comparison between the different countries and telling the story was interesting as well. It was very powerful to me. I'm Egyptian American, and so it was very powerful for me to watch.
yes, I'm just here for 1 year. I'm back to Egypt in
Oh, really?
June.
This
And I was involved in every single.
I know you alluded to this. Women played a major role in that revolution, and they were in forefront, Tahrir Square and everything. But we're still talking about the gender
Yes,
of
yes.
Shahrazad, but it could be a male, which is, it could be, he picked a male.
Because he was also representing the mother of martyrs, and they played a very important role as being activists in the revolution. So I feel he made a good balance. Yes, he referred more to the martyrs as being men, and this is because definitely there were more maybe men that were on the front lines, but also the mothers of martyrs, they played a very, very important role in the revolution. So, and I think this was very, very much depicted in the movie, and also the storytellers. Like, he made a very good balance between women storytellers and men storytellers.
And I know people are waiting. I don't believe I saw the end. I mean, the word "the end." Obviously, there is no end to the story. As a documentary director, I know you alluded to that before. The narrative, and when you let the people tell their own narrative in documentary, how you navigate yourself with that.
I think a film as being on a continuum between, or documentary being on a continuum between communicating and exploring. And I think all documentary films have some element of both. But I think the films that communicate more are maybe propaganda films or training films, whereas the films that explore more maybe your classic observational verite films, or kind of creative documentaries. And I'm much more drawn to the idea of documentary asking questions, and that it's actually a way of the filmmaker engaging and learning about the world rather than having a pre-decided idea. So I guess the way I work is trying to find meanings or ideas or answers as I go along, and sometimes it happens in the shooting. A lot of the time it happens in the edit, but then also meaning is also created once the film's complete, because I feel as a documentary maker you're working with reality. You're never in control of that reality. You can never, and this is why filmmakers who say that this is what they're saying, this is what they're doing with documentary, I don't quite buy that, because I think you are never in control once you've made the film. It has so many different interpretations, and what you do means different things to different people. So
the film cover events in Egypt and in Turkey. Of course, Egypt has a strong sultan, or Shahryar, and same thing with Turkey. Now with the election of Trump, he's our sultan. Can you entertain the idea of having a film was for telling the story from a different perspective about a Western sultan?
I think if you had added a short clip of Trump somewhere in this film, it would have made a lot of sense to people. But the interesting thing was the film showed in Toronto this past Saturday, on the same day that there was a 25,000 strong march, women's march against speaking out against, the rights in a different way. It's not about protecting their heads not being cut off, but it's about sort of the way that women are being positioned in the kind of, Trump says even, it makes sense. And because also, but then again, women are, I guess, intersectional with minorities and with, gay lesbian community and so on. So it's, I think, it's oppression, kind of speaking out against oppression.
When I went there to cover him on Saturday, it really reminds me when I was in Tahrir Square.
Okay.
And how women also play a major role in January 21, and they were murdered. But thank you so much for having this, and good luck with your film, and we'll be in contact.
Yeah.